You doing? How you doing? How you doing? It is Deep Dish Football Live, episode 6, week 6. My name is Coach Big Pete. Wait for a little bit. AKA Peer Limber, publisher of Deep Dish Football. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. Week 6 football action. Here we go. And I'll tell you what. We got some great games. We got some big games. This is a big week. We're going to find out, who is the contender, who's the pretender, who's the pit, and who's the poodle. Simple as that. And it's going to be a hell of a weekend of high school football for week 6, 2023. All right, just again, quick reminder. Again, follow Coach Big Pete, Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm on Instagram Live, on Facebook Live. How you doing? Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and the whole shebang as well. And again, stats. Need those stats by Friday night's game. Please send me those stats to nominate your player for the player of the night in the state of Illinois. Any big game stats, please let me know. Any offensive, I'm definitely looking for player of the night in the state of Illinois. I'm also looking for offensive line unit of the night. Who is the best hog unit in Illinois? So please let me know. And again, email me, DM me that night. I go till midnight taking nominations. Sometimes a little bit earlier if there's a clear nomination, a clear cut nomination. Please send me those nominations of any kids. And again, players, send me your stats as well. My Sunday conclusion article for primetime performers as well, the Illinois GOATs that I put up on my article. Please send me your name with your stats. My email, again, is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. And again, DuPage Run and Shoot Show with me and my co-host, Patrick Codo. It starts tomorrow night. It'll be published tomorrow night. I do live filming on Instagram Live with my co-host Patrick Codo. He does a wonderful job for Naperville Community Access Television. Make sure you follow Patrick Codo. And again, make sure you follow DuPage Run and Shoot Show. We talk DuPage County football. We also talk a lot about Duquesne Conference. We also talk about the West Suburban Conference too. And we talk about some of the bigger IHSA games in the state. So please, again, follow DuPage Run and Shoot Show. And again, I'm trying to look if anything else. Playoff schedule is going to come out in 2 weeks on broadcast schedule. Most likely, everything will be moved a day later, as I've done in the past as well. And we'll also be talking to I might do again the playoff bracket show. We'll see. I'll let you guys know probably next week as well. And see if there's any other news that I got to put out. That's about it. Oh, November 12th, Sunday, or 10th, maybe, I think it's the 12th. Free recruiting seminar at the Westmont Public Library. I'm doing it. It's absolutely free. All you have to do is RSVP and how many people are coming. Again, emails coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. There's no Bears game that Sunday. I made sure that there's no Bears game on that Sunday. So please, if you're interested and want to learn more about recruiting, it's for classes of 2025, 2026, 2027, and 2028. Yep. So please, if you're interested, let me know. Email, again, is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. Some other quick news. Seneca found a game, freshman-sophomore game against Allman. Because they were looking for a game. Walford Christian canceled the game. So again, just a quick, just to let you guys know about that. They're doing a freshman sophomore game homecoming again. Seneca, they had a first game forfeited. Westmont forfeited their game. So yeah, it's again. But I completely understand. I understand the situation. Again, you don't have enough players. It's just part of the times, people. We can't do anything about it. That's about it. And again. And I say this again because I've said this numerous times because I've had emails and questions. Parents, if you have a recruit, stop comparing your kids to other kids. I'm telling you that right now. Don't talk shit. Don't use a little fake burner account. Just let the recruiting process happen. And parents, I plead with you, patience works in recruiting. Patience is the most important thing. Oh, I got a question. Geneva versus Batavia. Could this be a year for the Vikings? Actually, it could be a very good year for the Vikings. This is going to be a great game, and I'll talk more about that later on. But that Batavia-Geneva game is one of the top games in the state of Illinois. And again, I seriously hate to say it, but I think it's going to be, I really do think it's the Duquesne Conference Championship game. Geneva has been completely impressive with an undefeated season. And I think with Batavia, Wepley heating up, and Ryan Bowe, he's looked tremendous, by the way, this whole season. And their offensive line is dominant. So we'll talk more about this later on. And I'll talk about it tomorrow as well with my co-host, Patrick Codo. All right, so let's get into some of the games. Glenwood versus Sacred Heart Griffin. Glenwood got upset last week by MacArthur, Decatur MacArthur. Again, this is going to be a big game for them as they take on Sacred Heart Griffin, who only has one loss. Their one loss being to Tough Normal Community Ironman team that's currently still undefeated. Again, this is going to be one of those top games, and definitely with Sacred Heart Griffin, they're riding high, and they're still trying to chase Rochester because Rochester currently is still undefeated in the Central State 8. DuPage versus Lena Winslow. Big small school game in NUIC. Big shout to Kyle Campier and NUIC Fanatics. Make sure you check them out. This game, Lena Winslow versus DuPage, is going to be a hell of a game. Lena Winslow's rushing attack is just absolutely dominant in 1A. DuPage, Hoffman at quarterback, absolute star, and just an impressive offensive line and wide receiver unit for DuPage. This is going to be a big-time battle in the NUIC. This is one of the top small school battles in the state of Illinois, and this is a game that you must know about as DuPage takes on Lena Winslow. Naperville North versus Naperville Central. Big DuPage Valley conference game, and again, Naperville Central's running high with Jack Cook. Naperville North, on and off. It's, again, like water. Hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. What Naperville North team are we going to get? This is going to be a big game. York versus Downers Grove North, the big battle on Ogden Avenue. As we got DGN and York, both teams undefeated in the West Suburban Conference Silver. And again, Noah Battle, he's absolutely killing it. Lansu, he's connecting on his passes. Again, great young quarterback for York. Milton, unbelievable defense. This is going to be one of those top games that you need to know about. Again, two undefeated teams, and I thought DGN was going to be the York of last year. They've lived up to their billing, and York has also lived up to their billing. Again, replacing Veza, their star quarterback, and their star running back too. They've done a wonderful job. So this York and DGN game, that's a game. And I actually might stop on by tomorrow, Friday. I keep thinking today's Thursday. I apologize. Oswego versus West Aurora. Oswego suffered their first loss last week to Plainfield North. West Aurora riding high, undefeated. Great story for the Blackhawks. Coach Eimer kicking ass, and this is going to be another good game. And again, for West Aurora, the big thing that I like, again, is they're doing a little bit of a two-quarterback system. Definitely a thing you got to check out as West Aurora takes on Oswego, who suffered their first loss. Next, Upstate 8, the big battle, Glenbard South versus South Elgin. And the big thing will be for Glenbard South, again, is going to be that defensive line. Getting penetration on that triple option, contain. And again, staying in your assignments. That's going to be a big factor in this game for that Glenbard South defense. And for South Elgin, again, complicate the pass. And again, control the time of possession in this game. That's going to be a big part in this game. Definitely a game that you must keep an eye out for as Glenbard South takes on South Elgin. And can Glenbard South finally get the big win over South Elgin? We will see. Boylan versus Anahu. Two undefeated teams up north in the Nick 10. And again, Boylan, Connor Dennis looking great. The running attack looking great as well. Anahu, Cole Warren, star quarterback too. You got a battle of two good quarterbacks. Definitely a game to keep an eye out for. Mount Carmel versus Brother Rice, big south side battle. And again, Mount Carmel's riding high. Brother Rice, they've had some tough losses. Donovan Brown, kid that you got to check out, defensive back out of Brother Rice. Overall linebacker core of Brother Rice, pretty good, pretty solid. Christian Pierce, we will see again. Will he be in the game? We'll see. This is going to be a good game. Moments versus Salt Fork. Moments is currently, if I'm not mistaken, undefeated. Yes, they are. Salt Fork only has one loss, another big-time small school matchup. And again, for Moments, what I saw from that Clifton 7-on-7 this summer, very impressed with the receivers and their defense. So this is going to be a good game. Again, Salt Fork's got good size on the line. Glenbar North versus West Central, big WIVC matchup. Greenfield Northwestern, they are undefeated. Yes, they are. Going against West Central, another small school game you got to check out. I'm going fast, I know. Greenville versus Vandalia. 2, Greenville undefeated. Big win last week over Pana. Another game to check out. And Vandalia looking good to get that big win over Greenville. The Greenville Commons going very strong, especially with that rushing attack. Definitely another game to check out. Harrisburg versus Carterville. Harrisburg, Carmelo Downey, huge rushing attack. Big run game last week. I think it was like 4 touchdowns. Carterville's quarterback, he had 4 touchdowns. I think Carmelo had 5 or 4 touchdowns. But this is going to be a big offensive battle. Again, who can stop him? And it's going to be an interesting game. All right, and I keep saying interesting. I do apologize for that. Rova versus Stark County, another small school star game that you have to keep an eye out for. Rova, they got a great fullback / linebacker. He also plays linebacker as well. Stark County, good offensive line. Really like Stark County. Just interviewed one of their players. It's going to kill me. Tanner, I forgot his name. Good kid. But overall, game you got to keep an eye out for. Wakanda versus Antioch. Antioch undefeated. Wakanda has only 1 loss with Antioch. Overall, that offense, those two-way players that they have, and again, player you got to keep an eye out for is Nick Day. They also got a great linebacker at the Antioch Sequats. And again, this is going to be an Wakanda, Connor Vanslow, star running back for them, and also plays a little bit on defense too. Big game that you got to keep an eye out for. St. Rita versus Loyola Academy. St. Rita only has 1 loss, and they're being to Mount Carmel. They take on a tough Loyola team. Fitzgerald taking the helmet with the quarterback. And overall, St. Rita, again, DJ Stewart had another unbelievable game last week. Great ground game, ground and pound. We will see if St. Rita's defense can hold up against this high-passing offense of the Loyola Academy. Hersey versus Prospect. Hersey, undefeated. Colton Gamino, unbelievable season so far. Offensive line, very strong. Prospect, the big thing will be, again, defense, and again, getting penetration out of that offensive line, Hersey, and putting Colton in bad situations where he can cough up the ball. That's going to be huge. Morris versus Richmond Burden. Morris, unbelievable right now. Carter Budden, Swartz at running back. I'm forgetting the other kid's name. It's going to kill me. The Morse star receiver. Zellinger is... It's killing me. But Morris has got a hell of a great team. Richmond Burden looks unbelievable. Very talented, very fast, and a very tall, skilled group of wide receivers. But again, they rely on that offensive line of Richmond Burden. And again, the Rockets, they just like to pound the ball. So does Morris. This is going to be basically a ground game. If it gets to passing, you got to give a slightest little favor to Morris, but it's going to be a good game as Morris takes on Richmond Burden. Merrill Forsyth takes on Olympia. And Merrill Forsyth, Caden Murrar, he is looking great for the Merrill Forsyth Trojans. And Olympia overall, Chase Litweiler is another player you got to keep an eye out for, a linebacker for Olympia. Bolingbrook, Lincoln Way Central. Lincoln Way Central got the big win last week, and they take on a Bolingbrook team again. Defense. That's going to be the main thing. Is Bolingbrook's defense going to show up? That's going to be a huge part for this game. We will see. Batavia versus Geneva, as Mr. Stone asked. Again, Batavia versus Geneva is going to be one of the biggest games in the state. And overall, with Geneva, the big thing that I see, and I think a lot of people see too, is, again, the ground game. Can they produce a steady rushing attack against that Batavia 3-4 defense, 3-3-5 defense? That's going to be huge as well. So definitely a game you got to keep an eye out for. Overall, very impressed with Charlie Webley. Like I said before, Ryan Bowe, he is a proven commodity. One of the top recruits in the state of Illinois for Geneva. Their linebacker core is very strong. And again, mental mistakes. They have to cut down on mental mistakes. That's what happened last year. So we will see. This is going to be a big-time game. Geneva takes on Batavia. Mahmoud Seymour takes on Mount Zion. And overall, Mount Zion is killing it. J.C. Anderson, that whole group of players, Tremble, wide receiver, just a talented core. Going against a strong Mahmoud Seymour team. Again, overall offensive line. They got a young quarterback. So this is going to be an interesting game in Central Illinois. Bloomington Central Catholic takes on St. Joseph Ogden. Another big Central school matchup. Bloomington Central Catholic had a big win last week. They take on St. Joseph Ogden. Pretty good. Very impressive what St. Joseph Ogden has been able to do this season. Was thinking that they were going to get maybe to 500, but they exceeded my expectations. This Bloomington Central team, Colin Hayes, is absolutely killing it. And by the way, Bloomington Central Catholic has another quarterback that's taking over for next year. He's going to be special too, Brady. So keep an eye out for him. But this is going to be another game to keep an eye out for. Quinoa versus Princeton. Princeton comes back after the tough upset loss to Morrison. The Quinoa Boilermakers, I keep saying quinoa, the grain, but Quinoa, they are undefeated right now. And we'll see what happens, especially when they get into the playoffs. Can the Boilermakers make a run? That's going to be very interesting. That's another team to check out. Hillcrest versus Lamont. Sorry about that. Hillcrest versus Lamont. Overall, Hillcrest had some tough losses in the beginning, but they've been able to bounce back. They're going against the Lamont team that's really starving right now. Lamont needs this win. Hillcrest overall, defensive-wise, they have tightened things up. They got the big win over Eisenhower last week. Definitely the Hillcrest Hawks are running high. Lamont running good. Quarterback, we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting game. Wheaton North versus Wheaton South, big time rivalry game. And Wheaton Warrenville South needs a win. Wheaton North needs a win too. Wheaton North had a been on and off. And Wheaton Warrenville South, Matthew Kreider is on fire. Matthew Kreider, the running back, was 4 touchdowns last week. Had to suffer an overtime. It was an overtime loss to St. Charles North. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially with Wheaton Warrenville South's offensive line. We will see what happens against that strong Wheaton North defensive line. Sycamore versus Kaneland. Sycamore undefeated. Kaneland got the big win last week against Ottawa. Troy Carlson, Eric Johnson, they are on fire. I'm telling you this right now. I'm sick and tired of talking about Kaneland because they have 3 great underrated recruits. Larson at offensive line, Carlson at quarterback, and Eric Johnson at wide receiver / athlete. Don't sleep on this Kaneland team. Chicago Hope Academy takes on Marion Central Catholic. Marion Central Catholic. This is a big-time bounce-back game for them. They've won those games. Last week, they beat Christ the King. Absolutely smoke Christ the King. This is going to be a big game, especially for Marion Central Catholic. And when we talk about playoff points and that, they got to get that W against the tough Chicago Hope Academy team, who is looking strong again this year. So it's going to be interesting. Piatone versus Mantino, big rivalry game in the former Interstate 8. Now the Central, it's the Central, what's it called? The Central Illinois, whatever it's called. Big rivalry game. Coach Tully always has his Blue Devils ready to play this Mantino team. Mantino is looking good this year. Coach Haynes has done a wonderful job with this Mantino team. This is going to be a big rivalry game that you got to keep an eye out for as well. Providence Catholic takes on Montini. Providence Catholic. Again, they were looking good beginning. Now it's like they're slowing down, but they're playing a Montini team that is currently undefeated. Something's got to give. And again, with Providence, the big thing is going to be defense against this Montini offense. Carbonero, their quarterback of Montini, he's doing a hell of a job. And I would like to see a little bit more from the ground game of Montini against this Providence defensive line. We will see what happens. Next one, Taft versus Kenwood Academy. Taft, they're bouncing back pretty quick. Kenwood Academy, they're bouncing back. Another team that's bouncing back really quick. What's going to give? And I think the big thing with Kenwood is the passing attack. That's been the main question starting from the season. We thought this team was going to be undefeated at this. Well, not undefeated at this point, but have a one loss. But it's just they bounced back against some weaker CPS teams. We will see what happens with this Kenwood team this weekend. IC versus St. Francis. St. Francis gets the big win last week against Juliet Catholic. IC undefeated. Wow. They needed this because of the tough schedule they got coming up, and they have Loyola Academy coming up on their schedule, by the way, IC, just to let you guys know. But this IC team, it's looking really good. The running back, he is Gaeta. He is a great player, hard-nosed player for the Knights. Parker, they're also their tight end. This IC team it's really special, and they've proven, especially with that win over Marist. Again, they can battle with the big boys, and I know Marist has a losing record. Slow down, but again, IC is looking really strong, and their ability to get to 5 wins, that's unbelievable. And they're taking on the St. Francis team. There's little bit of some of the weak spots in St. Francis, but this is going to be a good game you got to check out in DuPage County. Wheaton Academy takes on Bishop McNamara. Bishop McNamara got a win forfeited to them because of Leo using an ineligible player. But Bishop McNamara versus Wheaton Academy, another big-time game. And again, Wheaton Academy bounced back with a win last week after they had an upset. It was 2 weeks ago against Chicago Hope Academy. That's why I'm saying don't count out Chicago Hope. They're kicking ass. So this Wheaton Academy squad, again, in the standings, they're looking good in the Chicago Christian Conference. Overall, this Bishop McNamara team, this is going to be a prove me game for them. It's going to be a big-time game for the Fighting Irish. Andrew versus Bradley Bourbonnais. Bradley Bourbonnais gets the big win over Lockport last week. Andrew, tough loss last week. And again, overall with Bradley Bourbonnais against Andrew, stop the run. That's the whole thing. And that Andrew offensive line is very dominating. So, game we got to check out. Argo versus Eisenhower. Eisenhower had a tough loss last week to Hillcrest. Argo currently undefeated. I believe Argo, yes. Argo is undefeated. They tell you, again, this Eisenhower team, we'll see what team we get. We'll see what Eisenhower team we get. It'll be interesting. Bloomington versus Centennial. That's going to kill me. Bloomington versus Centennial. Centennial, I apologize. Centennial suffered a tough loss. Bloomington, tough loss to normal community in one of the rival games. This is a game that's going to be up in the air. It's going to be a tough battle. And with Bloomington, can they succeed with the successful story this season? Eltoff Catholic takes on Collinsville. Eltoff Catholic riding high. 4-1 Collinsville. Again, they've been on and off. Another on and off team. We will see what we get. Roxana takes on Freeburg. Roxana undefeated. The Roxana Shells are undefeated. Ellis and a good group duo of running backs taking on the Freeburg. And overall, I really like Freeburg's athletes, especially wide receiver, running back. This is like the 5th time this season I've talked about Freeburg. So, yeah. Warren Township bounced back with the big win over Lake Zurich last week. They take on Monomoy, who's only got 1 loss. And Stevenson gave them their first loss. So this is going to be a good game. Warren Township, again, of Monomoy stopping that ground attack of the Warren Township Blue Devils. Sandburg versus Homewood Flossmoor. Sandburg, again, another team. What are we going to get? With Homewood Flossmoor, what are we going to get? This is going to be a battle of, this is a must-need win for both teams, especially in that conference. Home with Flossmoor, Bingham, the running back, he's a huge playmaker. And it's going to be huge that he gets that ball against the Sandburg defense, but we will see. It's going to be a good game. Macomb versus Farmington. Farmington is undefeated. Macomb, the Bombers, again. Overall passing attack is there. They again, like I said, they lost transfers this year. Iowa, Mount Carmel, but Macomb is looking good again. But overall, this is a must-need win for Macomb over a tough Farmington team that's undefeated, and it's great to see Farmington doing good, and I'm happy to see it. And the last one, Ottawa Marquette takes on Ridgewood. Ridgewood, tough loss last week. Ottawa Marquette bounces back, kicks. It was wait, I'm trying to think. They kicked my team Westmont's ass, but again, Ottawa Marquette always strong. Coach Yost has always gotten that team ready, and overall with Ridgewood, again, they've had great games, but it's you just again, like I talked before, you don't know what team you're going to get. This Ridgewood team, they have the talent. And they've proven it. And Coach Finelli's done a wonderful job with this Ridgewood team. But we will see what happens this weekend. All right. Make sure you follow Coach Big Pete, Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. If you'd like more, feel free to leave a tip/donation via PayPal, Venmo link on the bottom on Facebook Live or on deepdishfootball.com. If you have any questions, email me, coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. Again, quick reminder, make sure I get those stats. Send those stats in, please, for the article, Sunday conclusion article. Didn't have any questions. And again, if you want me to answer questions on air, ask them online or send me an email, coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. This has been Deep Dish Football Live, Episode 6. I will see you tomorrow for DuPage Run and Shoot Show. Make sure you follow DuPage Run and Shoot Show with me and my co-host, Patrick Codo. Breakfast with Coach Big Pete is 9 a.m. every Saturday, as well. And again, November 12th is the free recruiting seminar at the Westmont Public Library. Please, you have to RSVP, limited seating. Just email me, coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. Who's coming, who's going to be there, let me know. And so we can get the RSVP for the seminar. There's 2 sessions. Check it out. You've seen the graphic. It's on Instagram, everywhere else. So it's also on deepdishfootball.com. Thank you guys so much for joining, and enjoy the night. Have a safe night, and let's get ready for some football. All right.